There's this great man, a great father of faith, and I think this generation must listen to Reverend is it Isaac Omolehin. That man has what it takes between the old and the new to connect, and his truth of the word is what this current generation needs to hear.
This is Imaji Praise TV, bringing the lights of God to the world.
The senior pastor and founder of Champions Royal Assembly, Kubwa, Abuja, Prophet Joshua Iginla, has made a shocking speech about the controversy going online between Pastor Isaac Omolehin, the senior pastor and founder of Word Assembly Ministries in Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. Pastor Isaac, who speak out about some Nigeria pastor, such as Bishop David Oyedepo, the founder of Living Faith Church, also known as Winners Chapel, in Alta, Ogun State, Nigeria, and some other top Nigeria pastor, that anyone going to their church is not going to church. Meanwhile, Pastor Isaac, who came out some weeks ago to apologize for his statement and ask for forgiveness, Prophet Joshua, has come out to speak that everything said by Pastor Isaac is not wrong. Those that mean that Prophet Joshua is supporting the attitude and action carried out by Pastor Isaac. Now let's watch the video.
If this is your first time of seeing our video, kindly like, share, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more interesting videos. God bless you.
Sincerity and the level of correction coming to the body of Christ with maturity and love, not condemnation. There's a generation that have misintroduced ministry to a new generation, and the new generation have taken the baton, running with that mentality. There is a need for a restructuring, a repair, a reamendment, a resuscitation, a revisitation of revival, to change mentality of men to understand that you don't just come in and jump, because we are having men jumping, not growing. We're just having a generation just jumping up, and the social media can give you an accelerated speed and you think you are a father. That somebody have large follower does not mean you are a father. There's this great man, a great father of faith, and I think this generation must listen to Reverend is it Isaac Omolehin. That man has what it takes between the old and the new to connect. Wow. His depth of revelation and his truth of the word is what this current generation needs to hear. When I look at the passion and the depth and the sincerity and the level of correction coming to the body of Christ with maturity and love, not condemnation. There's a generation that is picking the baton and not want to pay a price. Paying the price, I'm not talking about, we know Jesus has paid the price. I'm not talking about price of making sacrifice or work, but following the process. That's what we mean. There's a generation that don't want to follow any process. No disciple class, no, we can't even see you submit to anybody. You are not willing to learn, you just want to jump up. And then overnight you are an apostle, and overnight you are bringing correction to people that you should listen to. People that you should listen to, who by faith have paid price, who by faith have paid their dues with the depth of revelation these men have. So we are having a generation who have seen A, attendance, B, building, C, cash as ministry. And this generation have taken the baton and they are running. It's no longer soul, discipleship, heaven, and love and unity. We are seeing a generation that believe that if I belong to this clique, I will accelerate by big tithe I give. So now we now buy fatherhood by tithing. And so by the time I give tithe, my sins and my rascality are forgiven. So nobody is now spending time on sons who are rascal to reform them, to restructure them. As long as you can bring fat tithe and the tithe is okay, so I don't care whatever, we stamp you and you are approved. You become relevant by association. So, and that's why we're having a generation of young men who will do anything to gather 50 to 100 million to buy fatherhood. And they might not even be born again in order to get relevance, because there is a cabal that have turned their clique sheep to a cliche, where they make sure that their clique is a very big thing. You need to belong to it to feel that you are in heaven. So it has become a political structure in order to gain spiritual approval and relevance in ministry. So once you don't belong to that clique, you're not real. You're not perceived to be real. So we are now having men now not working towards making heaven, but working to belong to a clique. So the one collecting the tithe doesn't want to know the source where the money is coming from. Whether a woman is robbed, whether there's a lot of things that have happened behind the scene, provided the seed is big. So you are admitted into our cliqueship if you can continue to maintain certain amount of money. And then when you become a boot licker, you have to lick our boot. You have to strip yourself of your honor and come under us. So it's not submission by revelation, it's submission by victimization. Wow. So because I feel that I don't want anybody to call me fake, I don't want anybody to call me wrong, so I have to go and submit. So we are not seeing men who don't have depth to design who is genuine and who is not genuine, judging everybody because they lack capacity and spiritual stamina. So it's a tool. We have to bring you to us, victimize you, strip you of your honor, make everybody to see you with the wrong perception. We will sell the perception and the wrong narrative that you are fake, you are not real. So we are no longer looking at your fruit. We don't want to know who you are. We don't want to know how authentic you are. All we need to do is that you need to lick our boot. Even though God has not led you to be in our clique, it's by force. We want to colonize you. We want to make sure that this mentality of imperialism, mentality of victimization, we bring you, subdue you, we strip you of your honor, inculcate our own ideology, then drag you like a dog everywhere. And then when you come in, we call it so. There are some submission that is not submission, that is actually victimization. So now we have a generation of prophets submitting to people that are not supposed to submit to. They have lost their prophetic calling because they are seeking approval and appraisal of men. Am I saying that you should not submit to people? You submit to people by revelation, by leadership, by what God has sent you to do. So we are not looking at men of capacity. We are not looking at men who have built their capacity over the years, walk with the Lord. So you know, they said, Master, we saw one casting out demon in your name. And Jesus said, leave him. If he's not against me, he's with me. But we have a generation that feel that you have to come and know their Jesus, which is their spiritual father, before you can be approved. That's a wrong thing. And when you speak like this, they think you are arrogant. No, there is a level you know your spiritual capacity and the propensity in which God has lifted you up and the stamina in which you carry, and you understand that salvation is not for sale. It was a price that was paid, and there's nobody that owns the book of approval. That you need to understand that you honor fathers but you don't slave.
This is Imaji Praise TV, bringing the lights of God
to the world.